All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to open up by giving all the praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Hakudash. Double honors to the apostles and elders, the great millstone, rule well, and preach the truth and sincerity. Shalom to the hopefully elect. And this is the brother Amawana Yash from the GMS Indianapolis camp, coming back at you with another quick lesson through the spirit and power of Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. And today's lesson is going to be entitled, How Is This Edifying? And this is pretty much based off a clip that's been going around from the ISUBK. They on some like militant style type shit. But in this video, which I'm gonna show it, I'm gonna let the video speak for itself actually. But let me grab a couple scriptures to open up, because the Lord, he didn't call us in this thing to perform gimmicks and then do all this extra shit, man. You know, the Lord, he called us in here to teach this word. So I want to grab what's that in Corinthians? Select it. This is 1 Corinthians chapter 14 and verse 26. It says, How is it then, brethren, when ye come together, every one of you hath a psalm, hath a doctrine, hath a tongue, hath a revelation, hath an interpretation? And here's the point. It says what? Let all things be done unto edifying. Now, when we deal with that word edifying, it's the Greek oikodome. It says the act of building up, and in this sense, it's building up one's faith, which also I'm gonna grab that in the etymon. It says metaphor, edifying, edification. It says the act of one who promotes another's growth and Christian wisdom, piety, happiness, holiness, and in this sense, ultimately growing as an Israelite, man, and growing in the faith in Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai. Now, I have it pulled up here in the etymon. It says edify. It says what? To build, construct. It says also in figurative use, to build up morally or in faith. You see, because ultimately when it comes to the scriptures, all right, the scriptures tell us how to conduct ourselves as Israelites, man. Okay, and these scriptures are set up, all right, to boost our faith, as the scriptures say in Romans 15 and 40, things written aforetime and written for our learning, that we through comfort, that we through the scriptures might have comfort and hope, roughly paraphrasing. You see, so ultimately, what's going on right here is not building up, all right, our people for the times to come. See, because ultimately, you know, physical strength and skill and, you know, the modern day sword, you know, the gun, whatever the case is, man, that's not what's going to get us delivered from the time of Jacob's trouble. All right, the times that we're coming into. Okay, and once again, like I had mentioned, the Lord called us into this thing to teach his word, because ultimately that's the main command, all right, us Israelite men are to follow, all right, as well as keeping the law, statutes, and commandments to the best of our ability. You see, but ultimately the Lord Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai has called us into this truth, all right, and has given us the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding to go out there and teach his people, man, teach the house of Israel. You see, so ultimately we have groups, all right, we have Israelite groups who fail to properly teach the mark of the beast. Okay, the truth, what the mark of the beast really is. Okay, and ultimately who fail to give our people the true names of Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai, which ultimately ISUBK, all right, they call in the names of Yahweh Shai, but ultimately they're not following the scriptures, man, all right, to the best of their ability, like they're supposed to. Okay, but point being, you do have camps out there who don't promote the names of Yahweh Shai, who don't teach those names, all right, to their congregation. You see, but ultimately they're super involved in these gimmicks and doing things that's just not profitable to the ministry. Okay, so I want to grab this in the book of 2 Timothy chapter 4 and beginning in verse 1. It says, I charge thee therefore before the Most High and the Lord Yahweh Shai Hamashiach, who shall judge the quick and the dead at his appearing and his kingdom, which ultimately the quick goes into those who have been brought to life, all right, via the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding of the scriptures, aka the elect, and the dead goes into those who are ultimately without this understanding. You see, and you got a lot of individuals, man, who call themselves Israelites, but inwardly they are dead. Like Yahushua when he got on the wicked scribes and Pharisees, and Matthew the 23rd chapter, he said, "You clean the outside of it," paraphrasing, but inwardly you are full of dead men's bones. You see, so you got a lot of Israelites, all right, who on the outside, all right, they profess themselves to be Israelites, but they're truly dead inside, man. All right, they're not really born again. All right, they're not applying the wisdom, understanding, and knowledge of the scriptures, man. In verse 2, it says, "Preach the word, be instant in season, out of season, reprove, rebuke, exhort with all long suffering and doctrine." So ultimately our job, all right, as Israelite men, is to preach the word. All right, simple as that. That's it. Preach the word, and ultimately not just preaching the word, what? Rightly dividing the word of truth. You see? So when you preaching the word of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, you can't just come up with any kind of breakdown or you want to, man. Or you got to teach the right 100% correct breakdowns, man. You can't be teaching false doctrine such as the mark of the beast is an embargo, we're sleeping with white women. Okay, we're not going to get the names of the Most High and the Son to the kingdom. Whatever the false doctrine is, man. Okay, you got to teach the right. You got to teach the right doctrine, 100% true. It says, "For the time will come when they will not endure sound doctrine." And hey, you got a lot of Israelites, man, who fail to endure sound doctrine. You see, the elder Manata Zakbai out of South Carolina, or a lot of his videos recently have been showcasing the unbelief of many Israelites, man. All right, and ultimately they're not able to receive what the men of the Lord are teaching, also because it's not given unto them. Like Yahushua said, all right, he speaks in parables because ultimately it's not meant for them to get it. All right, the only ones who are going to be able to understand the parables and receive the dark sayings of the scriptures are the elect, man, whom the truth has been given unto, according to Romans 11. All right, it says, "For the time will come when they will not endure sound doctrine, but after their own lust shall heap to themselves teachers having itching ears." And when you deal with that phrase itching ears, it pretty much goes into the desire to hear something pleasant. So for the most part, man, Jake, they don't want to hear the truth, man. They don't want to hear, all right, the raw, unfiltered truth, man. All right, they want to hear a feel good message, man. You see, they delight in lies, man, because that's what feels good to the flesh. You see, it says heaping to themselves. They heap to themselves teachers having itching ears. It says, and they shall turn away their ears from the truth and shall be turned into fables. Meaning what? Being led away by these false doctrines. Okay, but the point is, we are to preach the word. All right, being instant in season and out of season, man. So we're supposed to preach the word of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai all year round. All right, no taking breaks, no none of that. And not only that, man, once again, as the book of 2 Timothy, the 3rd chapter says, you have to rightly divide the word of truth, man. Meaning what? Properly break down these scriptures. You see? So the Lord, he once again, the Lord didn't call us into this truth to perform all these bullshit ass gimmicks and then things that are unprofitable to the ministry, man. All right? Your job as an Israelite, man, is to teach, man. Teach the word of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai and teach it properly. Okay? Let me see here. Real quick, let me grab this and then we'll play the clip in the book of Slakia. We'll get the scripture in the book of Matthew chapter I believe it's chapter 22 and verse 9, and this is Yahweh Shai speaking in the red letter. It says, "Go ye therefore into the highways, and as many as ye shall find, bid to the marriage." And ultimately, you understand the marriage supper is indeed this truth. Okay, the scriptures in good Lord, Salakia. The scriptures talk about this truth being the marriage supper of the Lamb, right? Proverbs 9 goes into how ultimately this truth. All right, this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding is indeed a feast. You see, so ultimately we understand that everybody is not worthy to be a part of this thing. But the point is, Yahweh Shai told us to go on the highways and find, and as many as we shall find bitch in the marriage. So our duty as Israelite men, okay, is to teach this word, man. All right, and ultimately we fishing for the elect when we doing that. Okay, because once again, it's not meant for all Israel to get it. And those whom the Lord, Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, does not want to get it, guess what, man? They're going to be wrapped up and taken away, all right, by the gimmicks that these other groups are doing, man. You see, so I'm going to go ahead and play this, and we'll get some more scriptures, and that'll be the lesson. But without further ado, let me go ahead and play this clip.
Hola. Jumping jack, jumping jack. Open your eyes up. Attack, attack, strike the miss. Attack. There you go. Open your eyes. You gotta open your eyes, brother. There you go. There you go. Strike the miss. There you go. Get ready to take up. Body shot, body shot, body shot, body shot, body shot. Hook. There you go.
That's lucky. Now, one scripture did just come to mind. Because, ultimately you see him doing a jumping jacks and, boxing exercises and things of that nature, which it made me think of this. And 1 Timothy chapter 4 and verse 8, it says, "For bodily exercise profiteth little, but godliness is profitable unto all things." You see? And the thing is, bodily exercise, it does profit us, man. It helps us stay in shape, man. It keeps us, it makes us less likely to, have ailments and diseases and things of that nature. All right, you could better keep your health on track. But the point is, all right, bodily exercise, all right, compared to spiritual things, profits little, man. Spiritual things such as what? This truth, this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. All right, having faith in Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, right? It says, but godliness is profitable unto all things, right? And godliness is shown, all right, by doing the will of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, all right, to the best of your ability, man. All right, going out there teaching His word correctly, okay, following the law, statutes, and commandments to the best of your ability. Ultimately, that's what's going to profit you when all is said and done, right? And ultimately, these are things that are going to lead to salvation, man. You see, which really ultimately it boils down to whether you're of the elect or not. But ultimately, seeing how wicked the majority of our people are, if you out there trying your best to do the right thing, trying your best to please the Lord Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, and hey man, hey, you got a good chance. All right, you got a much better chance than these Israelites, man, who's just fucking off and not doing what the Lord said, man. You see? So at the end of the day, man, just continue doing what you do for Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. Okay? All these gimmicks and things of that nature, man, don't feed into that bullshit, man. Because, this shit, man, is not going to profit you when all is said and done. All right, the scriptures tell us in Isaiah, the 33rd chapter, and verse 6, it says, "And wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times, and the strength of salvation." It says, "The fear of the Lord is His treasure," right? So ultimately, wisdom and knowledge is going to be the stability of our times. So ultimately, y'all out here performing all these gimmicks, doing jumping jacks, getting maced in the fucking face, being militant, doing jumping jacks, boxing exercises, which there's nothing wrong with. If you take boxing on the side, okay, there's nothing wrong with that. But how is that edifying? Okay, putting it on camera, being, doing folly, putting it on camera. How is that edifying unto the Lord's body, man? It's not. You see? But what is edifying is properly going into the scriptures, properly breaking down the scriptures, and preparing our people for the times to come. All right, which ultimately, when you doing shit like this, man, getting maced in the face and doing jumping jacks and body shots and jabs and things of that nature, that's not preparing our people, all right, for the times of trouble, man. Okay, because one thing we know is that Esau, Edom, the so-called white man, is coming down with great wrath, man. He's coming through with that sword. His sword is his blessing. You see? So this shit, man, it's not going to deliver you in a time of trouble. Okay? So you groups out there, man, you ought to be teaching, all right, the truth, man. right, and properly break it down in scriptures, because at the end of the day, that's what's truly going to prepare our people for the evils that are getting ready to come upon the planet Earth, man. Okay, but also when we understand that, according to prophecy, there's going to be a 1/3 and a 2/3, man. And someone has to play the part of the 1/3, all right, the elect, as well as the 2/3, man. You see, everybody got their lot to fulfill. All right, but without further ado, I'm going to play the rest of this.
Water here. Open your eyes, brother. Shut up. I can't breathe. Look to the right. Hold on. In your nose, out your mouth. Relax. You relax.
Focus now, just relax.
You relax. Relax your breathing. Focus on your mind. Relax. Open your eyes a little bit so the water can get in there. I can get your left off. It's not really good. Let me give you a hand. Let me see something. Do this, all right? Come. You relax. Slow your breathing down. Close your mouth. Breathe out your nose. That's it. Breathe out your nose. In your nose and out your mouth. Just focus. Focus. Let him stand. In your nose and out your mouth. Just gathering yourself together. It's mental. Focus. Right in his eyes.
Going live.
Got one on the left.
Let me know when it's done. Going live. Instructors, listen up. I need him. Go here. Him.
Controlling yourself. Breathing. Controlling your breathing is controlling your body. In your nose, out your mouth.
So, that's enough, man. I'm gonna ask the question again. How is this edifying? Because at the end of the day, I didn't get anything out this video. And then, throughout this whole clip, nothing. I never said in my head, that's the spirit. Because this isn't the spirit, man. Oh, you got Jake out there just being self-willed, man. How is this edifying to the body? All right, you're not preparing the house of Israel, right, for the days to come. You're not teaching the house of Israel to get closer to the Lord Yahweh Bashmi Yahushai, right, that they may be protected in the last days, in these last days, man. So at the end of the day, hey, man, this isn't edifying, man. This doesn't help the body whatsoever. Okay? And at the end of the day, all right, the Lord, he's not dealing with any of this, man. So let me go ahead and get this in Ecclesiastes chapter 10 and verse 6. It says, folly is set in great dignity, and the rich sit in a low place. The rich, that's dealing with us, man. Us Israelites, man. You see? But folly is even great amongst our people. We know folly is heavily exalted in this current world under Esau Edom. But when you got shit going like this going on in other camps, man, all right, this is nothing but folly, man. You see, foolishness, man. You see, because this does nothing to help build the elect's faith, man. Once again, Jake is just being self-willed, all right, trying to seem appealing to the masses, because what these camps, man, they want to draw in more people, and ultimately they understand that with more people comes more money. You see, so these Jakes, man, they're not doing things, all right, out of love for Yahweh Bashmi Yahushai. All right, they're doing things to fill their own belly. You see, and the Lord, he's going to deal with each and every single last one of these groups, man, who's not doing the right thing. Let me grab this in the book of Ezekiel chapter 13 and verse 5. It says, ye have not gone up into the gaps. It says, neither made up the hedge for the house of Israel to stand in the day of the battle to stand in the battle in the day of the Lord. So, hey, this right here, all right, you're not getting our people ready, all right, for the evil days, man. Okay. Ultimately, when you refuse to teach correct doctrine, right? When you're not telling our people what the mark of the beast is, man, and things of that nature, okay? But you're doing shit like this, all right, that's not profitable to the ministry. Ultimately, you are not preparing Israel, all right, to stand in battle in the day of the Lord, man. Okay? So it's gonna come to the point where ultimately when these things come down the pipeline, all right, Jake is just gonna be out there without any kind of guidance, any kind of instruction. All right, because one, they're not taking heed to the true prophets of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, which we believe through faith. All right, begins with the apostles and elders, a great millstone, right, and the brothers who come up under them. Okay, and ultimately, at the end of the day, because you're under leaders, all right, who are not showing you the right way. Okay, so ultimately, once again, hey, we come to the time where a lot of Jake is getting ready to perish, man. You see, and you know, Jake, who's taken by this, man, and wooed by shit like this, man. All right, they ain't gonna make it, man, because they're not thinking about, all right, what to do, all right, to get right with the Lord, that they may escape the evils that's coming upon the planet Earth. You see, so without further ado, I'm gonna close out right there. I pray this lesson was edifying, informative, and exhortive to the body of some sort. And as always, I would like to close out by giving all the praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Hakodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well and preach the truth and sincerity. Shalom to the hopeful elect. And Lord, I'll see you in the next lesson. Until then, I say shalom.